is I want to acknowledge this wonderful music team that you have. Oh my God, they're fabulous. And I want to give them all. I want to give them all our highest Alabama compliment. Are you ready for this, sugar? In Alabama, what we would say is, this morning, baby, you about blew my dress up. Good stuff. Good stuff. And over here, I want you to look at this. Is this not a work of art? Please notice this. Will the lady who did this, please stand up. We want to acknowledge you. Look at this. Look at this. In Alabama, what we would say is, honey, this morning, this really cracks my tractor. I'm so happy to be here. You happy this morning? Alabama just beat the socks off of Texas A&M. My name is Edwene, and what I want you to know about me is that I am a woman of power. And I'm a woman of passion. I care deeply about you and me and all of our brothers and sisters on planet Earth, and it's my full intention to make a difference on this planet. In 1976, I made a commitment to the Lord of my being, the God is within me, that I would be 100% responsible for the transformation of the abundance consciousness of planet Earth. I do indeed travel around the world now about 250 days a year, and I've done so for 30 years. Enrolling co-equal laborers in this task. I'm very clear now that I don't have the foggiest notion how to do this. But one of my teachers said to me, but Edwene, you didn't know how to do puberty either. Did you? Consciously, I didn't know how to be born. Consciously, I did not know how to give birth to a child, and yet somehow I was able to do those wonderful things. And what I know now with clarity and with certainty is that when any one of us puts our intention out there and we make a 100% commitment to that intention, and we make every step a step of impeccability, a step of integrity, then somehow the universe opens up a way where before there was no way. So just take a deep breath if you would, and let me share with you what I call prosperity. Prosperity for me is a vitally alive, healthy body for this God being that we are to express through. Prosperity is relationships that are joyous and satisfying, intimate and honest and nurturing, and that work all the time. Prosperity is work that we love so much, it's not work, it's play. And prosperity is all the money we can spend. So if that would work for you, would you humor me and just give me a good old Alabama amen, sister? Amen. Take you home with me. Let's go. All righty. So, I wrote a book several years ago called The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, a simple guide to unlimited abundance. If you have the book or if you get it today, I'd love to sign it for you. In that book, I outline my journey from real holes in my shoes kind of poverty, not being able to feed my baby kind of poverty, working 2 jobs, 16 hours a day, just getting by, putting up with making ends meet, living from paycheck to paycheck. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Oh, man. And that's not living. That's just existing. And I knew there had to be a better way, but I didn't know what it was. Now, at that time, I was not in any kind of a religious or spiritual discipline. I left behind my fundamentalist church in which I was raised, in which I got a wonderful Bible background. For that, I will always be grateful. Thank you, God. But the ideas just didn't fit for me anymore. So I was kind of in the middle of searching. And I knew there had to be some spiritual laws about how to prosper. Because I was working as hard as I could work. You know, and I'm not a stupid person, folks. I have all sorts of impressive-looking pieces of paper that say I know an awful lot about some very unimportant stuff. So I began a personal study of how do you prosper spiritually? Now, the Bible has been a spiritual textbook for me, so I use that a lot. But I also went to the library, couldn't afford to buy books. But I'd go to the library and I'd check out anything I could find. I've read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow need my money. I mean, I knew all the reasons, but so I do the other things, and I've had little kind of good things happen in my life, but nothing big. Well, there came a day, the spiritual law number one is this, in my opinion. We must acknowledge that God is my source. Say it with me. God is my source. Not your checkbook, not your job, not your spouse, not your hope of winning the lottery, not your Visa, MasterCard. God is my source. So when I came to realize that, it scared me because I knew I had to do something about that realization. So the first spiritual law is this. I believe in order to acknowledge that we know that God is our source, we're required by spiritual principle to return 1/10 of all that we've received back to that person, place, or institution where we've received our spiritual food. It's called the tithe. T-I-T-H-E. The word tithe means a tenth. It does not mean 3%. It does not mean 7%. It does not mean what's left over after you pay the bills. It's 1/10 off the top, given back on a regular and disciplined basis to that person, place, or institution where you've received your spiritual food. Now please hear me. I'm not talking about giving to charity. It's a very kind thing to do, and I do a lot of that. But that's not a tithe. I'm not talking about buying books and CDs and affirmation cards and giving them to your friends who need them. That's a very kind and generous thing for you to do. And as a matter of fact, I brought some along. I hope you'll do that very thing. But that is not a tithe. A tithe is 1/10 of all that we receive, given back on a regular and disciplined basis to that person, that place, that institution where we receive our spiritual food. Now, what is spiritual food? Spiritual food is that which causes us to remember who we are, wakes us up and shakes us up and gets us back on our spiritual pathway. And if you're fed through this ministry, your tithe belongs here. But only you know. Nobody but you knows where you're fed spiritually. My process is this. Whenever I receive money, first step, thank you, God, because it all comes from God, no matter how it comes. Second step, where does this tithe go? Remind me where I've been fed. And then I send it out immediately. Now the promise is, when you do that, the windows of heaven will open for you. That's the promise. And you have a choice. You can believe it or you can not believe it. I chose to believe it. I chose to start. I was scared silly. I'll talk more this afternoon about how I started, and I'm proud of it, but it worked. I started with nothing, folks. My tithes were so small. And today, I give you a progress report of a beautiful 30-acre retreat center in North Alabama, completely paid for. I have no debt of any kind, no mortgage. I went in and bought me a Lincoln, wrote a check for it. I traveled first class. I've been to everywhere in the world that I've ever wanted to go. Spent a month in Tibet, India, all over Europe, anywhere I've ever wanted to go. 4 times to Brazil to see John and God. Now that may not be your idea of prosperity, but whatever your idea is, God wants you to have it. Charles Fillmore says desire is the onward impulse of the ever-evolving soul. That desire that you have for anything was put in your heart by God. You have to put yourself in a position to receive. You hear that? And the way you prove that you're trustworthy around money is by returning 1/10 of all back where you're fed spiritually. That's spiritual law number 1. That was the hardest one for me. Spiritual law number 2, I work on this one every day. We're required by spiritual law to forgive everyone all the time, especially ourselves. I have done so much forgiveness work, and I do it every single day. And one of the things I've noticed about my own process is the only people that I ever have to forgive are those people who don't do things my way. And there seem to be a lot of them. And many of them drive in the Cleveland area. So every night before I go to sleep, I ask myself in prayer, have I put anyone outside my heart today? And usually I have. There's some poor soul out there that did not get Queen Edwene's edict about how to behave on planet Earth, so it's off with the heads. And so first of all, I have to forgive myself. Now please hear this. Forgive yourself tenderly and gently, the way you would forgive a little child. Don't beat yourself up. And then I have to look and see what they were doing and forgive them for not understanding what my rules are. And then I have to look and see what the situation was. It's always the same issue for me, folks. It's a control issue. I know how you ought to behave. Do you hear that? I'm working on it. Pray with me. Some people come up to me and say, Edwene, I can forgive everybody, but I just cannot forgive myself. And what I want to say, usually I don't, but sometimes if it hits me the right way, I'll say, what makes you so special that you cannot forgive yourself? Folks, when we were born, nobody put a manual in our hands about how to live. And most of us were born to imperfect parents who did the best they knew how to do. Your parents gave you all the love they were capable of giving you. And so what I know is pretty tacky, but from their background, their experience, they did the best they could. Just as you and I have always done the best we know how to do. We have to forgive ourselves because we didn't know any better, or we would have done better. If we had the opportunity to redo those things today, we would do them in a higher, better way, wouldn't we? Because we're not that same person. So we've got to let go, because every time that you choose to hold on to that self-righteous anger, when you choose not to forgive, when you feel resentment and shame and guilt and bitterness, what you're doing is you're building a wall all the way around you, as if you're building on those big, thick concrete blocks, and the good that you desire and deserve cannot get in. You see that? You're blocking your own good. God's not withholding anything from you. You're withholding it from yourself because you won't forgive Joe or Mary or Mama or baby or whoever. But you've got to do that if you want to be really on the spiritual pathway. Is it easy? No, sometimes it's really hard. But you can do it. Or God would not give you instructions.